Welcome to the New Earth Entrepreneurs Podcast, where innovation meets sustainability. Building a better tomorrow, today. We interview changemakers and visionary leaders redefining success for the planet. Here you'll find inspiring stories and solutions that matter. Welcome to the New Earth Entrepreneurs.
Welcome to the New Earth Entrepreneur Show. Today's guest is Walter Moss, CEO of Urbana Systems and SmartWalls. Walter and his team specialize in transforming distressed commercial real estate into mixed-use, eco-friendly communities using innovative technologies like SmartWalls and LabHabitat to enable sustainable, affordable homeownership. With a mission to build true smart cities, Urbana Systems is redefining urban revitalization by creating vibrant, sustainable spaces that meet the demands of today's urban challenges. Welcome, Walter.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me today. I'm very excited to hear about your journey and Urbana Systems' visions for transforming urban spaces. To kick things off, Urbana Systems focuses on converting commercial real estate into sustainable housing. Can you share more about how Urbana was founded and what drives your mission to address urban housing shortages?
Yes, absolutely. We are actually a conglomerate of companies. Urbana Systems is defined as a consulting, managing, and marketing company in regards of all the different technologies. I particularly invented the smart walls, but we are in partnership with other companies in regards of the systems that are utilized and the subsystems, such as, for instance, water purification, air purification, HVAC, and even the framework of the walls are based on another company, which is called DIRT, DIRTT. And they manufacture our walls, actually. Urbana actually was founded no more than 10 months ago. And yes, the project was started several years ago. I would say probably 15 at least. And the walls, that's in regards of what Urbana is today, finally. But the smart walls started it's going to be 8 years now of the smart walls. So there's separate companies as well as LabHabitat that started 15 years ago. The three are different because LabHabitat is a concept of a community for entrepreneurs, actually, in building and manufacturing things in urban areas, metropolitan areas, actually. And this is a consequence of the need of having Urbana systems that can transform those spaces available today of the empty and vacant spaces into this formidable things that you just described and makes use of it's called sustainable, affordable, and resilient homeownership, and the systems from LabHabitat was just describing. So smart walls per se are modular walls, and they contain all the systems I was mentioning before, including computational power and sensors and water storage too, power storage. That's why they're resilient. These are truly living walls, not because we just put plants on them, as we do, but the walls are breathing and purifying our air and also purifying our water. So those are in general the things that differentiate the different companies and where Urbana started, where all the other ones are related because of all the different systems and technologies. And as well as all our partners. Our partners are extremely important. We went like New Earth is seeking for companies trying to be good standards for our Earth, right, and our societies. We went to look for partners to manufacture the components and actually also made them locally.
I love that. I love that. And can you mention one more time, you mentioned that community of entrepreneurs who are building things in the metropolitan area. What was the name of it?
LabHabitat.
Habitat. Wonderful. Yeah, that might be, some listeners might find themselves wanting to go check that out. Oh, I love all that. And so I'm curious to your next, or your technology, particularly smart walls, is central to your approach. Could you explain what makes smart walls unique and how it supports efficient and sustainable building? You mentioned a little bit there with the different aspects that they take in, but anything else you want to add too?
Absolutely. And actually, that's the part of sustainability. There is two aspects of sustainability here. One is how they are made. They are all made with recycled and recyclable materials, but also in the utilization of the walls for all the services they have. Fantastically, they reduce power consumption of electricity between 20 up to 40%, and water consumption up to 60%. So that makes in the utilization of the systems provided by the walls, there is a huge contribution to the environment in the reduction of services. And also, we didn't estimate it yet because we're going to be recycling water and we are looking at recycling even our urine. So we are thinking that we will be improving and bettering those numbers. So we still have to do calculations on and what are going to be the improvements that we will be bringing to this.
Amazing. Maybe I'll have to patch you through. I recently had a conversation with the fella. His name's Jason Plant, and he's got a company that he's been building. It's called Phos. I'm kicking myself for not remembering the name of it, but he filters out phosphorus from water.
Ooh,
To use as a fertilizer, so that they get this kind of byproduct of being able to have fertilizer for agriculture. Just when I hear you talking about filtering urine and other that kind of wastewater or other water systems, I wonder about that kind of partnership. So I'll
great.
get connection towards to see if there's anything there y'all can partner up on. But love to hear that. Moving into some kind of successes and challenges, you mentioned you're proud of developing solutions that tackle multiple challenges at once. What accomplishments are you most proud of in bringing these technologies to life?
Well, that's a nice question. There's several accomplishments. The first one is to put this high caliber partners together. The manufacturers of our walls have more than 20 years of 20 years of experience actually of deploying modular walls, not with the systems I just mentioned. We are the ones that created those systems, but they already deliver almost over 1 million square feet of solutions in the last 20 years. So that's thousands of projects. And so the technologies from the modular standpoint are proven. One of the nicest things is that working in combinations, we're going to have these beautiful walls that they're going to grow food, and based on microgreens, and partnering with other companies that they already have systems for growing microgreens, in controlled environments. What I'm proud the most is to have figured out how to make the walls really like a living organism, make them work like an organism. As a matter of fact, I call that orgamechanics. So it's to have the mechanics of an organism and make the systems to work as an organism and even improve them. For instance, one thing that we don't do as organisms is to recycle. And our walls are going to be recycling, right? So that's an advancement in the organism side. So the other thing is to provide, we'll be delivering, and we're already in talks with customers. I can't reveal them now, but because these are very, very large financial institutions in the United States, that we will have the first conversions with the new systems coming up. So hopefully by the beginning of next year, we will be seeing implemented systems with all these new technologies. The other thing is to figure out how to solve multiple problems at once. We have empty buildings. We have a huge need for affordable homeownership, not just affordable housing. Affordable housing always refers to very low rent for very low income people. Well, it happens today that the newer generations that just come out of college, let's say, or they trying to come into the workforce and they cannot afford to start a home or not even rent. And that picture has to change. It happens also to the young young professionals that are in the big cities, that even an income of $250,000 is not enough to live in a large city like New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and so on. So what is low income? Well, that's a relative definition because it depends where you're at, right? Of course, a family with $43,000 income, like it happens in the city of Chicago, is considered low income, especially maintaining 4 or 5 people, right? So, and also solving the problem of, unbelievably, of the banks or the financial institutions that they're stuck with these items, and instead of doing improper disposal, such as just getting rid of them and letting them to be abandoned, is to also solve that problem. So we're solving problems, and also we're bringing the future today. And that's beyond solving problems. It's about the future for us to have a more sustainable community, more resilient community, prosperous community, where you can enjoy fresh food every day at home. Microgreens generate potentially up to 28 crops per year versus any other conventional crop. So, and we are going to be advancing more. That's another thing I'm proud of, which is tapping into urban agriculture and with the systems that we have, because thanks to companies like Acta, that they're one of our strong partners with their HVAC systems based on solid state systems. They promise to be the most advanced air conditioning and cooling and heating systems on Earth. They are already tested. They are now in the manufacturing process. We are the largest client, a largest customer, and we are planning on producing up to 150,000 housing units per year to start. So we have that capacity already, and so our partners have to deliver equal numbers of subsystems in order to deliver those homes. So yeah, those are things I'm very happy and proud of. Yeah.
Amazing. I feel like a congratulations in order for as that the client, the large financial institution gets secured and you start rolling that out.
But yeah, crossing fingers.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like also thank you. This is inspiring to hear about and just to imagine really bringing the future to today, where we have this more both the recycled materials, recycling, producing good quality food, nutrients for us locally.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all amazing. It really does feel like the kind of the future technology that I know for myself I've envisioned and hoped for, that we have some of these kinds of technologies in place more so, and especially with sustainable and affordable housing and homing. I live in an area, it's not a large city, but it's a city that cost of living is just continues to grow and continues to become more of a complication for both just regular residents, and homelessness becomes more of an issue. So I would love to see these kinds of solutions becoming more commonplace, so that way it really can be a more, we start solving more problems. And piggybacking off of some of the problems, the challenges, you mentioned that government is a significant obstacle. Could you elaborate on the regulatory challenges you're facing and how they impact your projects?
Yes. Yeah, you asked that question about, and now it's very specific. Yes, you are correct. Why? It's very simple. Governments are very slow in rezoning. Rezoning stands for the designation of areas, like certain areas that they're designated for residential only, for light manufacturing, for commercial, or for industrial, or for whatever other application. The problem is to convert from like the commercial areas, like office space and retail and whatever else falls under commercial, to convert those zones into mixed use. It takes an act of government, which means the act of government is a city council that has to meet. And then sadly, these people, they have a limited knowledge of what they know of the technologies. And so we have to educate them in what the changes are. Like one critical thing is that we will not use sewage and in our solutions, because we will use composting systems or composting toilets. So we will be producing fertilizers too. So, that the government is not up to speed with technologies, even though this technology has existed for thousands of years. Like I said, these are real proven technologies. And still the governments are not catching up with the changes. So it takes them forever to do those changes to rezoning. And then the other thing is the bureaucracy on the permit system. Permits take also forever. So we are preparing now a team of people to work with the government in order to facilitate all these different technologies and do it as fast as possible. The thing is, in that obstacle that we have, that is the biggest, because technically, without the process of the government, we can do a conversion of a building, no matter what the size is, in 7 months. So that's record time, compared to any other conversion that will take no less than 2 years, plus the permit time. So actually the shortest time was 1 year, a conversion from one of our, I would say, competitors, but they used the traditional conventional methods. It was about a year. But still, the processing time could take anywhere from months to a year. And that will be the delay at that will hinder the progress and the delivery of solutions at a high speed, you know?
Right. Yeah, the bureaucratic red tape and processes to go through. Hopefully you can find ways to continue to, partnering with the private sector and whatever other kind of solutions you come up with. Um, do you have great question here. What strategies are you using to gain public and private sector support for adopting your adaptive reuse solutions?
Well, in the public sector, is unavoidable. The typical way of doing it is through lobbying, and there is no other way with the government, basically, right? But the rest, we do more and faster with private rather than with government because of what I said before, what I stated before. The private sector moves much faster. We have several examples of how much progress have been done, and I can mention some of one of not too much favorite persons that I have in my life. This is Elon Musk, but I have to recognize that thanks to what he has done in the private sectors, he has done way much faster so many things. So you can see that the private sector moves way much faster than the government. So, and our efforts are more in tune to work with the private, but also work with the government, in lobbying right now, literally.
Yeah. I won't dig into it now, any of the things with Elon, but I'm glad to hear that there was benefit to, yeah, kind of the moving things forward. Keeping actually almost with that and the kind of future vision. You mentioned a vision for creating true smart cities. Could you expand on what this means to you and what steps you're taking to make this a reality?
Yes, true smart cities doesn't mean that you're automating just the traffic and the services that they are in the city. You have to think a little bit farther away or further ahead. It's like you have to transform the city. And a smart city, instead of producing pollution, social crisis, garbage to the environment, it should produce wealth, and it should be graceful in contributing in what the nature does perfectly well, which is, for instance, cleaning the air, or producing resources. So it's about time that the smart city produces resources. They grow their own food, vegetables, and materials. It's about time that the city breathes, not produces contamination, right? It's about time that the city is truly smart, not because it's full of gadgets and gizmos based on automation only. And it's also important that the city will recycle from the small atomic level of the housing unit, will recycle everything and produce no waste. So we are going to be teaching people through the houses, because the walls will speak to people. They are designed to have all the latest of the latest in visuals and sound and speakers. They will tell you how to avoid producing waste, how to recycle stuff, how to use less water when you're cooking, how to use less power when you're cooking, so it's going to be a house with a manual, basically, and upgradable both by software and hardware.
Walter, are you on the ballot for 2024 here in the United States? You're
Actually, no, thank you. Politics is another realm that I don't have time for.
Well, I appreciate. I mean, you're really speaking my language, and probably a lot of the listeners too. The true smartness, the recycling materials, the production of quality resources locally, yeah, quality air, quality water, quality food. These are inspiring to hear about and really to see being implemented. So thank you. I can totally understand not wanting to get involved with politics. I commend you for everything that you're doing in your own ways. As you continue to scale, what role do you see Urbana Systems and SmartWalls playing in addressing the broader issues of sustainability and urban housing? You've touched on this some, but anything extra you want to add?
Well, actually, to sum it up, because I do have to go. To sum it up, what we will do, Urbana will have a big investment in R&D to funnel and fund the SmartWalls and other companies and systems in doing more research and development is to bring more and more solutions. We will at some point we will be providing solutions for the social crisis that is a major concern, such as the mental crisis of having people with mental problems on the streets as homeless and other situations. So we will be working on that in the future, hopefully very soon rather than later, with proper agencies that they are more experienced than us, but contribute in that. So keep on addressing more. And then another one is to develop LabHabitat that is going to be the playground for inventors, creatives, artists, engineers, biotechnologists, all sort of people that they want to make things happen and create an environment where they can co-live, co-work, co-manufacture, co-create, co-design, do everything in collaboration and in a different type of structure socially, because people are, I see them more as nomads and bringing their own new enterprises. This lab habitat also acts as an incubator, a true incubator. So I see those things happening in the near future, like next couple years.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm incredibly excited and look forward to seeing how Urbana Systems transforms, as well as SmartWalls and everything else that you're getting into, LabHabitat. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you for having me, Timothy, and also please don't hesitate to have another talk. I really enjoyed communicating with you. You have a very pleasant personality. You're very sharp with your questions. I really praise you for that. And I look forward to the next opportunity to keep on talking and networking with your program.
Yeah, absolutely.